So recently, I went and saw the band that calls itself Foreigner, a band that literally has no original members still in the group. But full disclosure, at this show in Clearwater, Gramm did get on stage and sing a few songs with them, which was cool, but to use an old sports analogy here, his fastball is gone. Truthfully, the band is better off without him at this point, which sounds blasphemous to say, but it's the truth. I also saw a couple of tribute bands locally here in the Tampa Bay area. One was a Bon Jovi tribute, and then I saw another one that was a U2 tribute band, and it got me to thinking about the future of live music, especially for us middle-aged and older folks. You know, the legacy act generation, or Gen X, probably more appropriate. And I was thinking about how much music means to us, especially live music, not just recorded music. I mean, most people listen to music throughout the day on their phone. You know, they listen to satellite radio in their car or streaming services on their phone, whatever the case may be. But for us Gen X rock and roll fans, music was really important to us. And for a lot of us, it's still really important. So it got me thinking about the future of these legacy acts touring wise and just going out to see live music in general, especially from the bands we love and the music that we love. I know Rick Beato has spent some time discussing this on his YouTube channel to a certain degree, and Eddie Trunk's been talking about this sort of thing over the years as well. But I really want to kind of take my own spin and take on this and kind of talk through it. So I know, for instance, and I used Foreigner as an example, and they're a great example because they're definitely, you know, they are considered the band, but once again, no original members in it. And our, you know, our guys and our girls we grew up that we listened to and went to go see play live in concert, they're getting older. They're retiring. They're dying off. They're having health issues. They can't perform. They can't travel. So what's going to happen? Well, I know, for instance, I've heard Kiss talk about coming out with an authorized Kiss tribute or Kiss experience, I guess, for lack of a better term. What I've heard is they might have multiple tribute bands that are out on the road in different areas of the country or the world doing business, making money for Gene and Paul. You know, like they need more money, but, you know, God bless them. You know, but these bands would be putting on a show, putting on an authorized show that Kiss fans would go see. And truthfully, I saw a Kiss tribute band here locally in the Tampa Bay area. I think they were called Kiss Alive. I could be wrong, but I thought they were really good. I mean, they sounded great. They put on an actual show with pyro and the blood and the fire and the whole thing. And I think that's where the music business is going to go, as these legacy acts start dying off and start leaving a hole in the touring economy. I've also heard David Coverdale of Whitesnake talk about giving his blessing to the Whitesnake, the rest of the band, hiring another singer and going out as something like the Whitesnake Experience. And then you have bands like, for instance, The Last in Line, which is basically Dio's band with a different singer and different bass player too, now that Jimmy Bain passed away a few years ago. I mean, they're doing Dio stuff live, and it sounds great. They still have Vivian Campbell and Vinny Appice in the band, but they're also doing their own music. They've released multiple Last in Line albums, and the music's really good. It's kind of a cool twist on that too. And they're not the only ones out there doing it, but it's one that comes to mind. There's some other bands out there doing that kind of stuff, which is great. I like that kind of stuff. And but I was thinking about this when I heard about the Scorpions canceling their tour just a few days ago. I saw the Scorpions back in 2022, and they were supposed to be doing a co-headlining tour with Whitesnake. Unfortunately, David Coverdale was sick back then too, and they had to cancel that US leg, but the Scorpions ended up playing, and they were great. They were fantastic. Klaus Meine in his mid-70s and Rudolf Schenker in his mid-70s. I mean, Klaus looks old. He sounds good. Rudy Schenker's still running around like a madman, but he's kind of a freak of nature. I mean, I could see a band even like the Scorpions maybe coming out and saying, hey, look, we're all retiring. There's going to be a Scorpions Experience band that's authorized, that's going to go out and tour the world. So I think there's going to be some more of those, and it'll be interesting to see which bands decide to go that route, and basically which bands can go that route, because there's probably a pretty small percentage of bands that could do that sort of thing. But those are going to be the big legacy acts, like I'm mentioning. But what I'm really more alluding to is those regional or local tribute bands or tribute acts. I'm not talking about someone who just sets up in a local bar on a Friday night and plays a few Rat covers or something like that. I'm talking about the ones that are actually taking it to a degree where they've got band members that sort of look like the original band members that they're paying tribute to. Like I saw a Tom Petty one about a couple years back, and the guy looked like Tom Petty, and they sounded great too. Bands that, to kind of make this thing as realistic as possible, they look like them, they dress like them, they have the same stage mannerisms, they have the same backline production and lights, just on a smaller level, where they can play smaller venues and small towns and around the country. So I think that's really important moving forward, keeping the music we all love alive, not just for our generation as we age out, but also for younger generations and future generations as well. I mean, you're going to have, and you probably already do have, got people in their 20s and 30s going out to see a Van Halen tribute band and saying, I wish I would have seen the real Van Halen, but I never got the chance to do it. So, it's going to be important for that reason too. I've also heard some people talk about this hologram thing. A few years back, Wendy Dio talked about doing a Ronnie James Dio hologram tour. I really don't know what's up with that at this point. It's not necessarily something that would interest me. I might go see it once, but it'd just be a sort of a one-off thing. But really, what I'm talking about, like if you and your friends want to go out and have some fun on a Saturday night, and there's like let's say a Guns N' Roses tribute band, and your boys and you're all GNR fans, you might go out and see that. You have a good time, hang out with like-minded people, and I think that's a really good thing. It's really healthy for the artists, the bands that are doing it, and also the fans. And the actual real bands or artists who I love, I mean, I know that some of them actually give their blessings to these tribute bands. They may not be what you would call an official tribute band, like an official Bon Jovi tribute or Bon Jovi experience or whatever. But I know that, for instance, like Bon Jovi, he's aware of some of these bands and gives them a thumbs up and tells them, keep doing what they're doing. Because let's say you go out and see a Bon Jovi tribute band on a Friday night, you're probably going to start listening to more Bon Jovi before you go to the show and after you see that show. And, that's going to help these artists, because record sales aren't as much of a revenue generator anymore, but online streaming numbers, that keeps them alive in the public mind. Not as many people are listening to regular, like old over-the-air terrestrial radio, but you do have a lot of people listening to streaming services. Like I listen to Spotify every day. It's my go-to. I listen to Sirius satellite radio too. You have Apple Music, and every little bit helps for these artists. They love getting their music out there, being heard, and making money doing it. And, I will do something similar. I'll go see one of these bands, and like if I go see a Dawkins tribute band, I'm going to listen to a lot of Dawkins before that or around that time. I mean, I listen to a lot of Dawkins anyway, but nonetheless, I'll listen to more of it because it kind of gets me hyped up about going to that show and then, listening to it after, in the days following. So, don't be surprised. And another one actually that comes to mind, I've seen Cheap Trick a bunch of times over the years, and recently, although Robin Zander and Tom Peterson are fantastic, and they really seem to be ageless, but unfortunately, Rick Nielsen really looks like Father Time's kind of grabbing him by the collar and is shaking him a little bit. And I love that band, and especially Rick Nielsen, but his son Dax plays drums in Cheap Trick, and he took over for Bunny Carlos years ago. And Robin Zander's son, Robin Taylor Zander, is in the band, and he picks up the slack on some songs vocally, and he's a good guitarist as well. I could see them eventually sort of fading into the sunset as Cheap Trick, and then having the sons of Cheap Trick go out as the official tribute to Cheap Trick, which would be kind of cool. I would see something like that for sure. So there's some of that might happen. Maybe some other bands might do it. That's pretty limited, but it's a cool idea. You know, there's lots of sort of like different combinations of things that can happen. For instance, if David Coverdale does, you know, he gives his blessing to Whitesnake to go out and find a replacement singer and go out there and do that Whitesnake experience, David's going to take a cut of that. I mean, a financial cut, and he should make money off that. He put his blood, sweat, and tears into a legendary career. And I'll tell you, when this Journey tour that's going on right now ends, and this is the final tour, and Arnel Pinedo walks away from the band and Jonathan Cain walks away too, it's going to leave Neil Schon, maybe Dean Castronovo too. I'm not sure, but you know, they're going to end up doing another Journey experience or whatever they decide to call it. It's obviously still going to have Neil Schon, who's basically the bedrock of Journey throughout their entire career, but he's going to call it something different, and it won't be Journey, so to speak. So hopefully, you know, you get my point. I'm going to encourage you wherever you live to go out and see live music. Go see these bands. They're out there. They're everywhere. They're busting their butts. And I mean, I enjoy it, whether it's a U2 tribute or Van Halen or Kiss or Motley Crue or Duran Duran. I've seen a bunch of them, and you usually leave after the show with a smile on your face. You know, maybe you met some people or like-minded fans, and you make a new couple friends too. It's a great social kind of interaction thing too. You know, some of these bands, they're a little cheesy, but you know, you got to give them some slack. Yeah, they're putting on a performance. They're acting. They're getting paid to be actors up there, so take it for what it is. But I really think it's going to be important for the music business. Live music, it's in a tough spot right now. I mean, it just is. It's really expensive to go to these shows. And you all see what's going on out there. There's a lot of garbage. And look, every generation has its bands and artists, and this generation does too, but they're not necessarily all touring acts. And live music is not as important to this generation as it was to older generations like ours. You know, we didn't have all the technological advances we have now to keep us busy and distract us. You know, so we would listen to music, we would read liner notes, we would go to shows. That was part of our upbringing. But this, I think it's important stuff. And if you're a fan of rock and roll, hard rock, heavy metal, hair metal, 70s rock, 90s grunge, alternative, all that stuff, go out and support these bands. Go see them, get to know them. When I go to these shows, sometimes I'll go talk to these guys after they finish up. And what's funny is you find out some of them play in multiple tribute bands. I went to see a U2 tribute band probably about 6 months ago, and I talked to the guitarist after the gig. I found out that he's in a hair metal tribute band, he's in a Pearl Jam tribute band, and a Stone Temple Pilots tribute band, all in the Tampa Bay area. So these people are making a living out there doing this sort of thing, and more power to them. I love it. I really do. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. So what do you all think? You know, what do you think? Please leave your comments below. Let me know if you've seen any of these types of tribute bands, or if there's any good ones where you live, which ones you like, which ones you'd like to see become the official tribute band down the line for the bigger acts. Are there any big acts that you think or that you like, maybe that you could see? I don't know, like I was thinking maybe the Eagles, after Don Henley decides to retire, maybe kind of put together an official tribute, Eagles touring tribute band. I could definitely see that. You know, those guys would definitely make some money off of it, like Joe Walsh and Don Henley would, and keep the name alive, keep the back catalog selling and the streaming numbers up. So anyway, let me know what you think. This is a little different video for me, but I thought it was important to talk about especially after hearing about the Scorpions canceling their tour, and more about, the health related portion of why they're not touring. Just got me thinking about all this. And, I think it's an interesting topic. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps me out, and your comments and your likes, I appreciate all of it. So I'll see you in the next one.